All right, check this out. So we've got some glue here, just dried up. And I've got a little scraper that I use to spread finish. And just like that, all gone. I'm gonna show you guys how you guys can get this on your workbench. So let's get started. Hello friends, today we are adding a laminate top to the workbench. Now this will give me an awesome place to do glue ups, to add oil finishes, or to paint small projects and not have to worry about making such a mess. None of those will stick to the laminate, so I can essentially just chip up the paint or the glue, wipe off the oil and not have to worry about it. Now I did skim right past the build process for the tabletop. You can use anything. I've decided to go with a collapsible top, so that way I can maintain a small footprint in the garage when I'm not using it for building. Now for cutting your sheet of laminate, they do sell blades specific for this, but I'm just using this knife that has kind of a hook to it and a pointy edge, a really sharp edge. You're gonna be cutting with just the tip and running the blade lightly across your guide. Now I'm using just a track saw. You can use a really long level if you have one. If you have an actual track saw sled, then go ahead and use that. But just run it across lightly and then maybe do another pass. You're not trying to cut all the way through. You're just trying to create a score line and a weak point, so that way you can fold the Formica over and it'll snap on its own right where it's supposed to. Here you're gonna see me snap it and it comes apart really easy. Once you have your piece cut, It's time to prep both surfaces for a permanent bond. You're gonna peel the top of your contact cement off with your hands because using a paint can opener is not advised. And then you're gonna grab the thickest stick you can find to mix the contact cement just to give you a nice even blend. If this is taking a while, then you can just start moving really fast like I did here. And if you can't do it this quickly without spilling it, then I don't know what to tell you, but you just need to practice. Once you have that mixed, we'll say about a reasonable amount, you're gonna pour some into a paint tray, and I just use the foam roller to go ahead and start spreading it on my work surface. Now you wanna make sure you get a nice even coat, but be generous with the contact cement. There's no adding more after you try to attempt a bond. You're pretty much stuck with whatever job you did. So take your time here, make sure you get all of the edges all the way up to the edges, and you're gonna wanna put a coat on your work surface and on the back of the sheet of laminate. Then you're gonna let it dry for about 15 to 20 minutes. As the contact cement dries, it maintains this wet look, but it will feel tacky on your finger when you touch it, but it won't transfer over to your skin. So that's how you'll know it's dry. When you can touch it, it's a little sticky, but it doesn't transfer over. That's when you know that you're ready to do the permanent bond on your work surface. Now, when you are ready to do your permanent bond, what's recommended is that you either have a couple clean pieces of wood. This means they're not covered in any kind of dust or particulates or anything like that. So I've wiped these down, and these aren't even size. I would recommend something where all of your pieces are the same thickness. I just kind of grabbed whatever I had, and it ended up giving me a little bit of trouble, but not too much where I couldn't work past it. But you're going to just kind of put them underneath, flip your laminate over so that way you have your contact cement facing down and on top of your workbench. This will let you slide your sheet of Formica back and forth so that way you have it exactly where you want it. You can position it just perfectly and then start sliding your slats out while pushing down on your Formica. So I started in the middle. I've seen people go from the sides. I didn't trust myself that much. But I just started in the middle and worked my way one way and then worked my way the other way. Now they do sell these rollers that help you just apply an even and pretty good amount of pressure to the work surface. And that's what really creates the bond in the contact cement, is having that pressure between the two. That's what creates that permanent bond. So you will need one of these. You can kind of work around some of the other tools like the cutters and stuff like that. I don't really know if you can work your way around the contact cement, but I'm sure there's a couple different brands you can go with. I'll throw some links down in the description below, so that way if you guys are wanting to add a laminate surface, I highly recommend it. You guys will have everything you need just right in one spot. Now, same thing as when you're applying your contact cement, you're gonna wanna make sure with your roller, you're adding a good amount of pressure to the outsides. So you really wanna focus on the outsides, because if anything doesn't bond there, then it's gonna start peeling up. Now, we didn't worry about cutting it absolutely perfect when we cut it down to size, because we can go along with the router and add a slight chamfer. This will give us a nice clean line like you see here, and the laminate is actually inset just the slightest amount, so that way if anything hits the surface or hits the tabletop on the side, it's actually coming in contact with the wood before it's hitting the laminate, and we won't worry about anything cracking. All right, as you can tell, this guy is rock solid. So ready for some glue ups. I can put quite a bit of weight on it, and it's not gonna collapse on me, at least not yet. So Check out the video where we built the workbench. If you're not in the mood for a big project, I have a playlist, should be up in the corner here, of a bunch of one-day builds that you can complete in just a day. So grab 2 of them and have yourself a good weekend. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. And before I go, I guess I should put this away so that way I can clean up all of this mess that the router made.